Coming up, how to keep your outgoing mail out of the hands of thieves.
The principal of an Eastern Kentucky high school says they're having to lock the doors to the bathrooms during classes because of the actions of a few students.
It's been a very calm winter so far in terms of snowfall, but Old Man Winter may throw something your way by Friday. We'll track it coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening. We hope you're enjoying this stretch of beautiful weather we've had the last few days. It really feels almost like spring out there.
It has been so nice, but the cold weather is moving back into the bluegrass, and it could bring with it the potential for some snow. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is tracking that potential. What? Snow?
Yeah, how about that? In a winter that has basically featured snowless conditions for the most part across central and eastern Kentucky. By the time we hit Friday, and especially Friday night, at least the potential is there for some sticking snows across parts of our region. Here we go with Live First Alert Defender, and the storm system that we're tracking over the next couple of days is still way away from us into parts of New Mexico, now into Texas. Track on that. We'll take it across parts of the deep south and then toward the outer banks of North Carolina. Normally, that's a pretty good track for at least some snow across central and eastern Kentucky. So that early weekend snow threat would come from late Friday into Saturday morning, starting out Friday afternoon with rain and a mix that would go over to some wet snow as temperatures during the whole setup basically stay very close to 32 degrees, but it still will give us the potential for some sticking snows. I think will be likely. Question on that is, can we just get a little bit here or there, or can we get a few inches out of that? We'll fine tune that. Still have some time to play with that. Hey, in the short term, it's a breezy evening out there. Clear skies for the most part, though some clouds filtering into the north as temperatures drop into the upper 30s by late this evening. But when I come back in less than 15 minutes, it is on what else? Focus of the forecast with a snow threat that starts out the upcoming weekend.
Chris, thank you. It is a school policy that is gaining a lot of attention. School leaders in Breathitt County say the bathrooms are closed and blocked off in between classes because of an issue with students using chewing tobacco.
The students must now check out a bathroom pass in the front office and then use the bathroom next to that office. But as Victor Puente tells us, this policy has many parents talking. He has our top story at 5:30.
It's a change we found out about because of some parents who were upset and contacted us. But the principal here at Breathitt County High School says they're having to lock the doors to those bathrooms during classes because of the actions of just a few students. It's not just visitors to Breathitt County High School who are having to sign in at the front office these days. Students who need to use the restroom during classes are as well. The principal says it's because of how some students are using that time.
Well, we felt like it was a cultural issue with kids chewing tobacco and using our bathrooms sort of in a negative way with tobacco use, both smoking and chewing tobacco.
The policy started yesterday after some discussion. Custodians lock the gates once the bell rings for classes.
We want our bathrooms open between classes, before school, during lunch, and after school.
And during classes, students are able to go to the front office to use the bathroom there.
All we want is to control that traffic during class.
McKnight says he hasn't spoken to any parents himself, but he knows there are some who are unhappy about the policy.
I understand there's some phone calls to central office folks, and we've discussed those.
But he says the move also eliminates an issue the school had during a recent Safe Schools audit.
One of the points in there was the tobacco use in the restroom, so we're trying to deal with it.
McKnight tells me they have a principals meeting planned for tomorrow to discuss this policy, how it's working, and some of the comments they've received from parents. In Breathitt County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
McKnight says English classes at the school will use the situation as a writing assignment. We're told this gives the students a chance to come up with an alternative to the current bathroom plan.
A man accused of plotting an attack on the U.S. Capitol is now in a Kentucky jail. Federal authorities say 20-year-old Christopher Cornell was moved to the Boone County Detention Center yesterday. Last week, he was ordered to be held without bail after a federal magistrate said he was a danger to the community. Today, a grand jury indicted him. He is expected to be back in court Thursday for his arraignments. The cleanup continues after a crash caused a huge mess in a Lexington neighborhood. That crash happened last night on Shoreside Drive near Jacobson Park. Police say Sean Parker had a medical emergency causing him to lose control of the car and crash into a fire hydrant. Parker later died. That caused thousands of gallons of water to spill all over the street and mud to build up. Crews say they had to rip out driveways because they were worried about them collapsing. People living in that area say the crash sounded like an explosion.
At first I thought somebody's house had exploded. Had no idea that a car had hit the fire hydrant.
Funeral arrangements for Sean Parker are still being finalized. A memorial fund has been set up for Parker's 2 young girls, and we have information on how you can donate. Just go to WKYT.com.
The search continues for the man who robbed a Lexington gas station overnight. It happened at the Speedway at New Circle and Meadow Lane just before 6 o'clock this morning. Police say a man wearing a gray hoodie implied he had a weapon and demanded cash. After grabbing some cash, the robber took off. Police set up a perimeter but were not able to find the robber. A Central Kentucky man accused of kidnapping is in the clear tonight. State police arrested 19-year-old Dwayne Wainscott earlier this month after another man claimed Wainscott kidnapped him at gunpoint in Franklin County and forced him to drive around.
But the man who claimed to be the victim now admits he lied about what happened. WKYT's Jennifer Palumbo is at the live desk with the latest on the investigation. Jennifer?
Amber, James Dixon, who once claimed to be a kidnapping victim, is now in jail himself, and Dwayne Wainscott is a free man. State police say Dixon made up his story that Wainscott kidnapped him, and because of that lie, Wainscott spent more than a week behind bars facing felony charges for a crime he didn't commit. This all started back on January 9th when Dixon told police Wainscott forced his way into his car, threatened him with a gun, and told him to drive to Lexington. It ended in a Woodford County neighborhood when Dixon's car broke down and he ran to a nearby home. Dixon is in the Franklin County Regional Jail charged with falsely reporting an incident. That's a Class A misdemeanor punishable by 90 days to 12 months in jail and a fine of up to $500. At the live desk, Jennifer Palumbo, WKYT.
Jennifer, thank you. State police also say several days before that, Wainscott assaulted Dixon, but Frankfort police didn't press charges because Dixon had just minor injuries.
A Southern Kentucky deputy is under investigation accused of stealing firearms that belong to the department. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Letcher County. The sheriff there says former Chief Deputy Brian Dameron took 6 guns and sold them. The sheriff says all the guns were returned to the office. Dameron was fired. The sheriff says he will present his findings to a Letcher County grand jury. In Franklin County, deputies are asking for your help tracking down a man they say stole a purse and then went on a shopping spree. Deputies say the man in this photo stole the purse from a car parked outside the YMCA on Davenport Drive. We're told the suspect then used the credit card shortly after that, after he took the purse. If you have any information about the suspect's identity or this vehicle, you're asked to call police. And in Pendleton County, a man facing a sodomy charge appeared in court today. State police say that 70-year-old Herbert Paxton Jr. is accused of sex crimes involving children. His case was taken to a grand jury, and he was indicted on sodomy and sex abuse charges. Police are asking anyone with additional information to give them a call.
A former Kentucky bus driver is facing charges. She's accused of allowing 2 students to have sex on her bus. Christy Lawrence made her first court appearance this afternoon in Jefferson County. Her attorney entered a not guilty plea on her behalf. The prosecution asked that she have no unsupervised contact with children, but her attorney requested she still be allowed to have contact with her own daughter. Police arrested Lawrence on Sunday after 5 months of investigating. According to that investigation, the surveillance video shows the driver did not stop the students. Lawrence is expected to be back in court in February.
The last thing you probably think about when you leave your outgoing mail in your mailbox is that a thief might grab it. Mail containing checks is a valuable find for someone looking to make a quick and illegal buck. You are watching undercover video of a federal law enforcement operation in action. Postal inspectors placed a camera in a tree after receiving dozens of complaints over missing checks in this specific area.
We were able to observe the same individual coming within the same time frame every other day or every 2 days and taking the mail.
Inspectors say the suspect used fishing line and tape to get the mail and would then photocopy and wash the checks.
They'll make it out to individuals who either A, they recruited to cash the checks or recruited with accounts so they can deposit a larger amount and then withdraw the next day.
Once inspectors were able to find the mailbox, they were able to follow a paper trail straight to the suspects.
For the most part, these individuals actually use their real names and the real bank accounts. That's what made it easier to track.
Some simple advice from inspectors. If possible, drop your mail off at the post office. But if you can't, be sure to learn the pickup time of your most convenient mailbox.
For example, don't do it on a Saturday night because pickup won't be till Monday. That mail will be sitting there all weekend.
Inspectors say that if you're a victim of ID theft, you should contact authorities as well as various credit agencies to clear up your credit history. In this case, the suspect involved was sentenced to more than 5 years in federal prison.